I call this Occupy the Fields. Ye come here, gather on the farm. The time has come to sound off the alarm against the ones whose practices disarm our right to grow and eat food without harm. From underneath the cloak of corporate law, the agribusiness attorneys do draw immunity for products that are flawed, and once released can never be withdrawn. We'll occupy the fields, we'll occupy the courts, we'll nullify the patents on our food, we'll intrude until we can sow seeds without being sued. This one goes out to Uncle Walter, who went and brought some of the brothers a couple years ago to a little meeting with the UH regents. And he convinced them that it was not pono to trademark the genes of one of their relatives. Mahalo for doing that, Anakala. Starvation comes not from nature's lack. It comes from those with too much holding back. They use food as a weapon of attack to keep the current status quo intact. You enforce your monopolies with seed by waging war against the common weed. We subsidize your cheap and toxic feed. It's all a game of greed disguised as need. We'll occupy your fields, we'll boycott you in stores, we'll nullify your patents on our food, we'll intrude until we can sow seeds without being sued. See, what we're doing here isn't just about Pioneer and DuPont and Syngenta and Monsanto and BASF and all the companies that quietly came in the 1960s and started buying up the little research firms here that were experimenting with hybridization. Well, they bought them up and they didn't change the signs, they didn't tell the community, so no one knew what was going on. If you go on the U.S. Department of Agriculture Hawaii State website, you'll see someone put together a little timeline. But it didn't start back then. See, this isn't just about GMOs. This is about toxic industrial chemicals. That didn't start in the 1960s. That started way back when Brewer Chemicals showed up before 1900. And why did they show up? Because the land entrusted to the trustees by Bernice Pawahi Bishop was taken and used to kick Hawaiians out from growing kalo and from local people growing rice and feeding themselves and being 100% food sustainable to becoming an export ag state, bringing in cheap laborers and huge amounts of toxic chemicals so that we could no longer feed ourselves, but we could feed the pockets of a few rich landowners. And that started over 100 years ago. See, I came here and I see a pineapple on stage, and I know it was put here with aloha, but this pineapple represents the beginning of the war against the Aina. When you understand that, then you understand the history. When you understand that it all started 100 years ago and we stopped feeding ourselves so that we could make money for a few people. That's why this pineapple does not belong on my stage right now. This is about education. This is not about hurting people. This is not about fighting. This is not about all that. This is about understanding history. And as much as they try to rewrite history and they try to paint people into roles of good and bad, this is about our keiki and their keiki's keiki. And the fact that, man, I've been working for 25 years trying to save enough kala to get a piece of land so I can grow food. And now I'm thinking, where do I want to buy land? Because everywhere the water's polluted and the land's polluted. This is affecting me, and that's why I'm here. You see, our planet is woven by a thread of infinite diversity, well fed. But DNA disrupted does instead result in crops and cattle dropping dead. You claim the safety of your GMOs, but of the real effects nobody knows. The FDA regurgitates your pros, and what you cannot prove, you just suppose. We'll occupy your fields, we'll boycott you in stores, we'll nullify the patents on our food, we'll intrude until we can sow seeds without being sued. We'll uproot all your fields, boycott you in stores, nullify the patents on our food. We renew the right to sow a seed without being sued. We are the many, and it's our food. We are the many, and we have many signatures. Yes, we do. I'm gonna do one or two more songs after this, but I'd like to bring up my dear friend and one of the great voices of Aloha Aina from Molokai. He's a farmer. He takes care of the fish, and he takes care of the people, all of the kumu out here. Please bring to the stage Go Walter Ritte.
Maui is at it again. Maui, action. Mahalo, Maui. Molokai is here to support you. We came and jumped on a plane. Hey, hard to get flights to Maui, but we jumped on a plane. Hano and I came this morning. This is Hano coming up on the stage too to say hello. Hano Naehu from Molokai. So this was a great march. We came last year, a little bit of rain, some blessing. This year, a lot more energy, a lot more togetherness. We are here not only marching, but we are here because we have to do some work. We have to put our hands together for Shaka. They're showing some leadership in Maui. We need to support Shaka. It's a different way of doing the same thing. We're going towards the same end. Can't wait for the government. Make your own path. Sign the petitions, get your names on there, and let's go to the government via the people. This is a people movement right now. Mahalo Maui for showing the rest of the state that there are many ways to get the job done. Big round of applause for Shaka, everybody. It just puts a really warm feeling inside of you to see how many people are getting active. I remember when there was just a couple people on the road and people honking at us, telling, go back where you came from. And we persisted and persisted and persisted. Now we got thousands of people on the road. So now we're going to depend on Maui to do some work. All right? People are beginning to recognize us. Now when we go to the legislature, they don't just go, oh no, here comes those troublemakers again. We're beginning to get a little bit of respect. If we all learn how to vote, how to register to vote, that is going to be the point of no return where we're going to demand ultimate respect from these politicians. Learn to vote, register to vote. We need to be in politics. If we're going to win this battle, it's going to take work from all of us to do this. All right? Okay, and I brought Naehu with me, and I wanted Hano to say hello to all of you also.
Check, check, check. I always wanted to say this at the appropriate time. Regulators! Mount up! We're looking for a call to action. Doesn't matter if you Haole, Hawaiian, Portuguese, Filipino. Our Aina need to be loved. Our Aina needs to be taken care of. These guys are destroying it. Bossing them up. Somebody told me recently on Molokai, these pesticides, they attack your gut bacteria. That's what it targets. As on Hawaiian, my gut bacteria is my na'au. Right? They're making plants and monsters that are poisoning, attacking, and killing our na'au. It has never been put to me in that way. You know, you hear of all the statistics of cancer, asthma, obesity, everything. But from an Hawaiian perspective, imagine they're attacking our na'au. Our na'au is our well of truth. Hawaiians think with their na'au. They're supposed to follow their na'au. How can we do that when these mutant plants is destroying them? So I wrote this short poem that I wanted to share with you guys. And I wish I could say them to the heads of the Monsanto companies, to the head of the mycogen companies, the Syngenta companies, but I think go like this. I like tell them, get out of my way, cuz don't get stupid. I would push you on the side and make you all crooked. Cause warrior in my blood, hot on my sleeve. For this Aina and my people, I will bleed. And I'm not trying to say no smile anymore, but no scared kick some okole if they like take more. Cause I'm tired of Monsanto, mycogen, Syngenta shitting on our head. It's time to unite, protect our homestead. I promise they're gonna try to take all that we have. They're gonna poison us, leave us with nothing, and then say, oh well, that's too bad. They're taking us to court. They're telling us we racist while they're trashing our Aina and brainwashing our babies. Make us feel shame about where we come from. They said be shame of your past. Yeah? Change religion. I tell them, if you like GMOs, well, that's fine with you. Pack all your shit up and leave with them too. Because I'm tired of the GMO guys saying, hey, you guys going backwards. We gotta tell them, hey, pull your head out of your ass. Stop being crackers. Because you talking full of ignorance like you don't even know. Just read all the science and the proof. Don't be a lolo. And just because you have a ticket on that bus, the rest of your family and us stay outside, cuz. Talking about yourself as one individual, money is all you're gonna take to your own funeral. And I'm not being mad, I'm not being bitter. I'm trying to make you see we need to shape our own future. And I'm not trying to force anybody for listen to me. Be the change. Huh? Be like Dustin Barker and take the lead. So let us take the lead. Because for this Aina and our people, I will bleed. Let us take the lead, because we come from a Polynesian breed. Let us take the lead so we can replant native seeds. Let us take the lead because love is our creed.
Shotgun shots go off in the biotech lab of Dr. Pustai and the Rohit Institute. He sees the test rats getting sicker by the day. Tries to go public, but gets threatened with a suit. Here comes a story of the GMO. It's on your plate and you probably don't know. And no real tests were ever done. Just a big PR push and one company controls the food of all the world. Meanwhile, far away in the land of the free, Michael Taylor carefully crafts new laws, newly appointed to the FDA, secretly working for Monsanto's cause. When a scientist would raise a safety question, he would just ignore it at his own discretion. Maybe he knows what they don't know, like how each garden will grow and only the seed of Monsanto is sown. Scientific proof is a costly task. He thought it unnecessary to ask. Let the biotech firms self-regulate. I'm sure they'll keep all their studies straight. And all the politicians nodded their heads. They were already in Big Agra's bed. Thus GMOs had no rules to follow. And then the science was quite hollow. The traffic light was green of the great big ag machine. It's all true. Soon after came the GM bovine drugs. Objections from researchers were squashed by thugs. 10,000 cows got infected teats. They approved it anyway, and now it's in your milk and meat. The regulators ain't working for you. They sold you out and you ain't got a clue. It must be safe, I just say. I don't believe that if I play with the health of our children, now would they? Monsanto and the others, they all make great claims of feeding the world and the pests they overcame. But yields are shrinking and the pests are getting bigger. And no one knows it's coming because they pulled an early trigger. Remember the butterflies and bees that all died, and the 250,000 farmer suicides. You think you might start asking why so many living beings would die from a thing that's meant to save the world. Well, the makers of Ancient Orange and Roundup 2, they were all excited over a new breakthrough. Just before their patent on herbicide was up, they found a way to keep the farmers drinking from their cup. They built their product right into the crop, turned Mother Nature into their own shop. Now they can patent the food, but all the family farmers are sued for the crime of saving their seed. All the cheerleaders talk of ending world starvation, but it ain't from lack of food, it's from economic segregation. They say genetic engineering's as old as growing food. But we know it ain't the same, in fact it's way more crude. It ain't science when you're aiming a gun and praying the DNA don't come undone. They're playing cowboy with your genes, ignoring all the unforeseen risks. They made a laboratory of the world. Here's the saddest part. 50 nations label transgenic food. But out here in the US, the consumer's getting screwed. Didn't take the price of food and label it elsewhere. Now they're spending millions just to keep us unaware. This is the story of the GMO. It's on your plate and you probably don't know. There never was a dry run put on a grocery shelf, not one test to prove the safety of the food.
The person that's going to speak next is a key person who helped in that hand-to-hand combat. He's from the west side of Kauai. He's actively engaged in this movement. Without Klayton Kubo, we wouldn't have been as successful as we've been. So please give it up to Kauai's own Klayton Kubo. Thank you. Right on, Klayton.
Aloha, Maui County. I like to say that you guys gotta do this for you guys county, for you guys people, for the land and the water. Because over on Kauai, yes, like Gary who just said, yeah, 4 of them is over there. And they're just pounding massive amounts of chemicals on the land. We're talking 6 times more than the national average is being sprayed upwind of Waimea town. And that's not counting the other 4 facilities now. If we add up the other 4 facilities, is it going to be 30 to 40 times more than the national average just on one island? Then now we add up Oahu, then Maui, in one state. People, you guys got to wake up now. Register to vote. No wait. Do it now. This is you guys' chance. Mahalo nui for letting me speak to you guys. Thank you very much.
If anybody has the nitty-gritty information on what's going on, this is the man, Dr. Lorrin Peng.
Okay. Thank you. This was a peaceful Sunday. It's a nice way to spend a Sunday. Usually I sit at home and get depressed. Sunday afternoon always depressed me. But these last 2 weeks, I joined a listserv of scientists from especially Europe. So these guys wake up early or late for them, and my phone is buzzing with all this scientific information. Sometimes the more you learn, the more depressed you get. I have to honestly tell you, I was pretty okay until a month ago when I really started looking into pesticides. Normally, I speak about GMOs, the mutations. But these plants require massive amounts and massive kinds of pesticides. So you track the pesticides very closely, and I can tell you thank you for coming because we don't have much time, and I'm very, very worried. If you're not worried too, look up Sri Lanka. Look what happened in Sri Lanka. Look what happened in Central America and Argentina. And Monsanto is pulling out of there because of the bad press. You remember, these are developing countries. So we handle it in a more civilized way. We handle it in a more slow way. We are running out of time. You need to get control of these things. Take my word for it. I'll follow the science as best I can for you. But there's some very alarming things. Alarming things to me mean things that are irreversible. In your environment, if you screw up the land, how long have you screwed it up for? I will guess 40, 50 years. If you screw up a human being, What are we talking about? I will say we passed on genetic mutations on and on and on, or you get your cancer, and no matter how much we stop what we did to you, you got your cancer. So I'm very, very upset. I'm very worried. I track the science, usually when people are asleep, like I said, because the Europeans wake up. I track it with a very close friend of mine. He is a National Science Foundation scholar. And when we review the 2,000 published articles of safety, he and I are amused. This kind of stuff they do is amusing. After the first 200 articles, we are very annoyed. You cannot repeatedly do lousy science, and it's beyond amusing. And in the final 400 out of 2,000 articles, we're very angry. This is not how science gets done. You remember the first speaker said, "Where are the regulators?" 25 years ago, I was the regulator's regulator. I was with the World Health Organization in Geneva trying to coordinate all the regulators. I thought we did a good job. We did do a good job, but things happen. Now you have lawyers by Monsanto sitting in the regulatory position. So we are left with the default. We regulate for ourselves. Fine. If that's what we have to do, we will do it. But while we try to pass the initiatives here, we are being preempted by the state, by the Fed, the regulators who know better. Where are they? Why don't you come on a Sunday afternoon and tell us how you plan to do these things? They were there. They were there in Waimea, Kauai, after the first outbreak in the school. The EPA was there, and they could not answer. The question was, Mr. Regulators, do we not regulate each chemical? Oh, yes, we do. Should we not regulate combinations when we combine them? I'll give you a ballpark estimate. When you use 90 chemicals, and that's what's being used in GMOs, 90 chemicals, how many new combinations do you have? 10 to the 23rd. That's more than drops in the ocean. Have you tested these? Well, that's when they looked at their feet, and there was no answer. So it's hard to test 10 to the 23rd combinations. Yeah? Well, why don't we just hold back a little bit until we test maybe some of the key ones? But what I read in the last month, some of these pesticides and combinations are fantastic. Vote. We don't have time. I don't want to be alarmist, but I can promise you we don't have time. Thank you.
Today we gather here to address the needs of Maui Nui. Maui Nui. You guys get kuleana. We started this morning, or the march today, with the word kuleana. Repeat after me. Kuleana! 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 Y'all get kuleana. You don't just sleep here. You all live here. If you live here, time to wake up. We need to be awake. Are we awake? I drive around the island. I look around. Had an interesting visit with Marty Dredd one evening. Sat there collecting signatures. It was a great evening, but it was also a great evening of lesson. We have a big island with a lot of people full of apathy. Oh no, I no vote. I no believe. Bruh, if you like live and if you like drink good water, I think you should vote. I went to another site and the guy said, oh, bro, I don't vote. Sovereignty. I said, okay, sovereignty. I'm going to call your prime minister and highly suggest you guys make one statement to evict Monsanto. All the nations. Yeah? Make your statement now. Join our fight to protect our Aina. Yeah? So, your brothers, go back. Tell them, I'm waiting. I'm still waiting for that statement from your leaders. to evict all those chemical companies that is not taking care of our aina and polluting our water and jeopardizing the future generations of my children's great-grandchildren. Enough already. Enough already! Come awake! Yeah. This issue is not about who's Democrat, who's Republican. This issue is who is awake. Look around, pay attention. You know, my tutu, when I was growing up, they would always use that phrase. Yeah, boy, pay attention. Well, I can tell the same thing to everyone. Pay attention. Do not just get up and sleep here. Go work, go eat, and go back sleep. Be a part of the change that you want to see for Maui. You want to see this change? Be a part. We just earned the right. We collected the required amount of signatures. We now have just entered the right to join a battle.
Right.
Okay? All warriors. I recognize all the warriors. You guys who went out and collected those signatures, these are the warriors that I want to applaud. All of you listening to me, when I say Pai Kalima, I want to hear Pai Kalima, I want to hear 3 claps. Okay, lava. I say Pai Kalima, I only want to hear 3 claps. So you guys all got to have timing. Ready? Pai Kalima! Oh, God. Pai Kalima! Pai Kalima! We applaud all of the signatures, the petitioners. Where you at? Front and center, all the petitioners. Petitioners, I humbly praise you. Mahalo nui, mahalo nui. Face the people, face the people. People, you ready? Pai Kalima! 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 All right. This is what it's all about. Hard-working people that got us to the first step. Now the next step, we turn them in. They will come back and tell us, 2,000 signatures, not good. They gave us the wrong address. They're not registered voters, blah, blah, blah. So we need to still collect more signatures. Collect more signatures. All I can say is, congratulations. You have just earned the right to go to battle with one of the biggest chemical companies in the world. You ready? You ready to say, enough already? Enough already! Enough already!
Once we have this thing we call Ho'omakau. Everything I heard today was based on, feelings. But my great-grandfather, who I was raised with in the 50s, taught me to Ho'omakau. You know, some of you know the word when you paddle the canoe. Okay, Ho'omakau, you get ready, okay? Then you start paddling. But in the olden days, Hawaiians would Ho'omakau their whole lives. My grandfather planted enough food. He learned how to make do with the ocean his whole lifetime. He could feed 1,000 people, my whole village, for a whole year without even having to go to the supermarket once. Now, how many people looking at you in this audience can do that? My farm can take you over 100 people if the boat never did come in. So my answer to you, my question to you is, Ho'omakau, go home, make ready. Teach your children, teach yourselves how to ho'omakaukau, make ready so you can take care of your family and at least 100 people. When we're ready, we can do that. Then we're ready. Hawaiians used to have something called the makahiki. We would take 3 months off through the months of Ikua, when the waves would start shouting. We would have competitions, no wars. Everybody gave up their wars, their weapons. And during those months, we would party. Imagine one party going for 3-4 months. No hunting, no fishing, no nothing. In order to do that, brother, you had better be working your ass off for the last 9 months, storing all that food and getting ready. Ho'omakaukau. So that's what we need to do. Ho'omakaukau. You let go to war, you let go to battle, make ready. Everybody go home, plant one garden. If you know one, if you even live in one condominium, plant at least one green onion so you can put them on top of your saimin. Okay? I heard a lot of talk today. Go home, ho'omakaukau, make ready. You let go to war, make sure you're ready. Here's a song written by one of my classmates, Jerry Santos. I remember days we were younger. Used to catch ho'opo in the mountain stream. Round them Kola hills we ride on horseback. So long ago it seems it was a dream. Last night I dreamt I was returning, and my heart called out to you. Please accept me as you find me. Make aloha kuhomeo kahalu. Aloha kuhomeo kahalu. Yes, man, on harmonica. Can you come down just a little bit on the monitors? Thank you. Days when we were wiser, when our world was small enough for dreams, and you have lingered there, my brother and my sister, but I no longer can it seem. Last night I dreamt I was returning, and my heart called out to you. Please accept me as you find me. Eke aloha kuhomeo kahalu. Eke aloha kuhomeo kahalu. Changes and strange things cannot be denied. It can help you to find yourself, make you lose your pride. Move with it slowly, son, road we go. Please do not hold on to, you all must go alone. I sang the whole night long, and I will greet you as I find you, with the sharing of a brand new song. Last night I dreamt I was returning, and my heart called out to you to please accept me as you find me. Eke aloha kuhomeo kahalu, eke aloha kuhomeo kahalu. Thank you so much.
Aloha, my brothers and sisters. I invite you into the circle on the grass. Come closer, please. It is a most beautiful time to awaken as the new moon grants us all that is precious. We are so, so grateful for those that have come here this moment, those who have signed the petition, those who have dreamed for a better place here on these beautiful islands of the sea. The eternal music that comes wave after wave after wave. A place that we long for it is that eternal whisper that grants us peace when we are confused. If you hear the sound of the waves, if you feel the makani on your face, if you breathe that which is our mother, our Papa Honua, from the center of her piko, the center of her spirit, then you are home. Everything that grows on her body is our family. Whether it is the kalo, haloa, the pineapple, the coconut, all that is our family. From the sea that came before to the coconut that is here, we offer this blessing in the richness of this land. For the Shaka movement is about the keiki and the aina and all those beautiful offspring that grow on the body. And yes, it is Maui's time to awaken in the richness of the ha, the breath of spirit that is aloha. It is only through the gateway of aloha that our eternal legacy, inviting the Monsantos of this world to come to partake the call that we so desperately need to walk and invite peace, so that our children that are seen and unseen, that are born and unborn, may have the legacy that is pono, that is nurturing, that allows them to breathe what is pure, dream what is not dreamed, and live joyfully, healthily, with love. I offer you this beautiful stone from the sea, this coral from the sea that we borrowed as part of the opening prayer when we just came this afternoon. For it holds the profound testimony of life on these shores. We are each other. And I offer the new, the Vainu, the sacred waters that have come within the body of this coconut, so that it purifies the essence as I offer it to this land, so that all the intentions of this Shaka movement will grow and fertilize and invite that which is pono, that which is truth, that which is fierce and bold and honoring and respectful of all life to grow. It is our time, and although many of our brothers and sisters might be inclined to judge, we embrace all without anger, without the frustration and the hate. This Shaka movement is teaching the world, for the world is watching, that aloha is paramount in any effort to bring pono back to our land, pono back to our government, pono back to ourselves. So with this beautiful nectar of the Vainu, I offer in the holiest and prayerful essence of Hawaii and all of us who are bound by these beloved islands, for our keiki and for our aina that feeds us. E vola vai ha vai ola ha vai ni vai lana he. E ha ola vai ola ha na ola I te pana vai. E olo he mona tapu e ke kainua ola ha. E vai panna, e vai ala, e vai pono, e vai niula. E aloha mai, ta ina papa honua. E aloha mai, ta ina papa honua. May this Vainu sanctify this moment. May it offer up all we are in service to humanity, in service to the land, in service to the keiki, the aina, all we hold true in the na'aupono of ourselves. May this Vainu bless each and every one of us. May all life grow. May all life prosper. May all life feel the blessings of aloha. Amama uanoa atulele. We send this to the divine. Mahalo.
Aloha. Thank you so much, everyone, for giving me this opportunity to speak and giving me a bullhorn to help yell how we like to across the islands. I just want to give a big round of applause to Shaka. Let's give it up to Shaka one more time before they go. Thank you so much, Bruce, for all of your hard work. So I'll keep it pretty brief because Marty Dread sounds way better than I do any day. And if you go to our website, babesagainstbiotech.org, you're going to hear Say No to GMO by Marty Dread. He's been kind enough to let that be our anthem for stop what's going on in the government. You all know it's nothing you don't know. They're taking lots of money from the chemical companies, and it's pretty blatant. The lobbyists are throwing fundraisers for the senators who are blocking any kind of meaningful pesticide and GMO regulations. So we're lucky it's an election year. We're going to come out with our voting guide in June. So stay tuned. Be registered to vote. We've got the primaries in August and the general in November. Let's stay tuned, get informed, find out if you want to help. We're going to be going door to door. We're going to be canvassing, and we need volunteers. So you can reach us at omggmowtf.com. or babesagainstbiotech.org. Thank you so much. You're all amazing, and I'm so, so proud of Maui. Our chapter out here is going amazing. Lorrin Rigo's our coordinator. So if you want to help, there's plenty of work to do. And aloha. Mahalo.
This is Say No to Monsanto. Let's go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, say no GM, no GMO. Say no GM, no GMOs. Say no GM, no GMOs. No GM, no GMOs.
Say we're living in a crucial time. Mother Nature in serious decline. Not to mention the war and crime, millions of people in need. More people than we can feed. Couple that with their corporate greed, monopolizing the food we eat. Time for the people to see. First they tried to kill the weed, now they've come to control the seeds. No, no, no to Monsanto. Let me hear you. We say no, no, no to Monsanto. Hey. They can't survive if we persist. It's time to join in that growing list. List of nations to resist the madness Monsanto inflicts. The USA should be first in line. Wouldn't you know we are way behind? And it's just because of the bottom line. This time my people insist. Let them lobby till kingdom come. Now we are moving as one. A call to action to one and all. We live to see Monsanto fall. No, no, come on. No to Monsanto. Come on closer, come in closer. We say no, no, no to Monsanto. Please come a little bit closer. We say no, 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 no to Monsanto. And if we move out, we say no, no, no to Monsanto. Hey. Yo, this is deeper than dollars and cents. These people seem to have no common sense. They're sowing seeds of pestilence. A revolution is here tomorrow. Now we are here to say it's time to go. You and all your GMOs. It may be a David and Goliath thing. We will protest, we will sing. What we say? No, no, no to Monsanto. Everybody say no, no, no to Monsanto. Everybody say no, no, ahole, no to Monsanto. I hear Maui say no, no, no to Monsanto. Rhythm, rhythm. Hey, say no GM, no GMO. Say no GM, no GMOs. Say no GM, no GMOs. Say no GM, no GMO. No, no, no to Monsanto. Your turn. Everybody say. Move them out. Everybody say. No to Monsanto. Na na na. We say no,
Nice dancing. Woo! Let's let them hear us across the valley. Can we send out the cry one more time so they hear us loud and clear? One more time, everybody. Everybody say no.